There's some promising signs when it comes to the US-China trade war. Tom Piotrowski over at CommSec, good morning to you. Will that have any kind of effect on the markets today? Obviously, it would be a plus if it happens, or do you wait for more detail tonight?
Pete, it's a transformative outcome, the details that get released from these discussions at the weekend. The hopes are high, given the commentary that we heard from the officials leaving the meeting. The Chinese Vice Commerce Minister said that whenever the details are released, it will be good news for the world. So that is telling, given the fact that Chinese officials aren't necessarily given to hubris. So the markets are pensive as we move into the early stages of the new week. Indeed, they were in that mindset as we ended the week. We didn't see moves that were taking any breath away. We had the S&P 500 just slightly negative on Friday. Over the course of the week, it had fallen by about 0.5%. But bear in mind that over the course of the previous 3 weeks, you've seen that index rally by the better part of 8%. So this morning, the futures are indicating that we'll be up by around 0.2%. The market rose 0.5% last week. It's risen for 4 out of the last 5 weeks. So the momentum has been clearly established in recent times. It's just a question of whether it continues and how that progress is interpreted by the markets, whether or not it's substantial or the promise of more things to come, whether patience is going to be tested. It all comes down to those sorts of things, Pete. So at the weekend, we saw some disquieting inflation numbers out of China, particularly when it came to producer prices. They fell more than expected. The annualized pace of producer inflation in China is running at a negative 2.7% rate at the moment. That's the sort of thing that the Chinese authorities were trying to address with their latest stimulus measures. So it's important that these trade talks yield some material outcomes. So we saw energy prices move higher over the course of last week. They were up by about 4% in weekly terms. Gold prices up 4%. So on the one hand, there'll be some positives for the mining sector, but then there'll be the potential negative of those producer inflation figures.
All right, Tom Piotrowski, thank you.